Well, hello, my YouTube fellas and gals. So, if you're new to my channel, I use bookstore under Mendes Bookstore and more on Facebook. And I sell books. So, if you don't want to buy books, I'm also a resource center if you use a Kindle or a Nook to find these type of books if you're interested in reading them. So, today we are on lot 52, and I do 10 books each video. And these are all softbacks today, and these are actually $1 a piece, where before they were two. This particular lot's $1 a piece. There's some writing there, some marker. This looks like it might have been a library book or something because it's got that plastic covering. So this is book number 1, and this is called Blood Orchid by Stuart Woods. This is a 2002 copyright. I show the condition that the books are in if you're interested. And this is what this book is about, which is the synopsis of the book. Blood Orchid, the name of Ed Shrine's favorite flower and his latest real estate venture. New to town, the dapper developer makes the acquaintance of Holly, her father Ham, and her wily Doberman Daisy. Just as Holly is trying to get her life back together after the shattering loss of someone very close to her, but before she can settle back into her routine, bullets crash into the home of a friend, and a floater is found bobbing in the intercoastal waterway. Joining forces with the handsome FBI agent, Holly tracks clues straight back to their source, only to find a scam more lucrative and more dangerous than any this idyllic town in Holly has ever seen. So this is book number 1. Book number 2 is The Last Juror, sorry about the glares, by John Grisham. This is a 2004 copyright. That's what the book looks like, and this is what it's about. In 1970, Willie Traynor came to Clanton, Mississippi in a Triumph Spitfire and fog of vague ambitions. Within a year, the 23-year-old found himself the owner of Ford County's only newspaper, famous for its well-crafted obituaries. While the rest of America was in the grips of turmoil, Clanton lived on the edge of another age, until the brutal murder of a young mother rocked the town and thrust Willie into the center of a storm. Daring to report the true horrors of the crime, Willie made as many friends as enemies. In Clayton, and over the next decade, he would sometimes wonder how he'd gotten there in the first place. But he could never escape the crime that shattered his innocence, or the criminal whose evil had left the inedible stain. Because as the ghosts of the South past gather around Willie as tension swirls around Clayton, men and women who served on the jury 9 years ago are starting to die one by one as the killer exacts the ultimate revenge. So there is book number 2. Book number 3, we have Promises in Death by J.D. Robb, which is a.k.a. Nora Roberts. This is a 2009 copyright. It's got a little writing there. A little bit of page bendaging. And then here is what it's about. Amaryllis Coltrane may have recently transferred to the New York Police and Security Department from Atlanta, but she had been a cop long enough to know how to defend herself. When Coltrane was taken down by an assailant and killed with her own weapon just 2 steps away from her apartment, for Eve, the victim wasn't simply one of us. Dallas's friend, Chief Medical Examiner Morris, was in a serious relationship with Coltrane, and from all accounts, the two of them are headed toward a happy future together. Until someone put an abrupt end to all of that. After breaking the news to Morris, Eve starts questioning everyone, including Coltrane's squad informants and neighbors. While Eve's husband Rourke digs into the data on the dead woman's life back in Atlanta, to their shock, they discover a connection between this case and their own painful, shadowy past. The truth will not be uncovered one layer at a time. Will need to be uncovered. starting with the box that arrives at Cop Central, addressed to Eve, containing Coltrane's guns, her badge and ID, and a note from her killer. So there you go. And this is part of a series, I believe, but it's different stories in a series. Like, you don't have to read them in order or nothing like that. It's not continued, from my understanding, because I read a couple. So there is book number 3. Book number 4, we have Tom Clancy, Support and Defend by Mark Greaney. And this is a 2014 copyright. And this is what this book's about. Dominic Caruso, nephew of President Jack Ryan, FBI agent, the operator for the top secret U.S. intelligence agency known as the Campus, already scarred by the death of his brother Caruso, is further devastated when he is unable to save a friend and his family from a terrorist attack. Ethan Ross was a mid-level staffer for the National Security Council. Now he's a wanted fugitive on the run with a micro drive that contains enough information to destroy American intelligence efforts around the world. The CIA is desperate to get the drive back before it's captured by the Russians or one of the various terrorist groups also vying for it. Only Caruso stands in their way, but can he succeed without the aid of his campus colleagues? So there you go. Book number 4. Book number 5, we have Witness in Death, another J.D. Robb, which is a.k.a. Nora Roberts. And this is a 2000 copyright. It's got a little bit of yellow pages, but this is what it's about. Opening night at New York's New Globe Theater turns from a stage scene to a crime scene when the leading man is stabbed to death center stage. Now, Eve Dallas has a high-profile celebrity homicide on her hands. Not only is she a lead detective, she's also a witness. And when the press discovers that her husband owns the theater, there's more media spotlight than either can handle. The only way out is to move fast, question everyone and everything, and in the meantime, try to tell the difference between the truth and the really good acting. So there you go. Book 5. Book number 6. And if you are interested in this synopsis, the ISBN and everything will be in the description below and how to contact me if you're interested. Alone by Lisa Gardner. It's in really good condition, this book. It's a 2005 copyright. And this is what it's about. Let's see here. Try to figure out where it's at. It says, who can you turn to when you're most vulnerable? State Trooper Bobby Dodge watches a tense hostage standoff through the scope of his sniper rifle. Dodge has only a second to react, or a woman and child may die. Where can you hide when this killer comes? The woman at the other end of Bobby Dodge's rifle isn't only in trouble, she is trouble. Cool, beautiful, and dangerously sexy Catherine Rose Kagan's life will change in an instant of violence. It's the most terrifying place to be. When Bobby pulls the trigger, someone will die, and then no one will be above suspicion, no one beyond harm, and no one will see the death coming until it has them cornered, helpless, and alone. So there you go. Sometimes the synopsis is of what it's about, either in the book or on the back. So that's 6. Book number 7, we have one of my favorite authors I like to read is Dean Koontz. This is Odd Thomas. Every gift has its price. I loved Intensity. I didn't read this one, but I do like Intensity. This is a 2003 copyright. This is what it's about. Sometimes the silent souls who seek out want justice. Occasionally, their otherworldly tips help him prevent a crime. By this time, it's different. A stranger comes to Pico Mundo, accompanied by a horde of hyena-like shades who herald an imminent catastrophe. Aided by his soulmate, Stormy Llewellyn, an unlikely community of allies that includes the king of rock and roll. Odd will race against time to thwart the gathering evil. His account of these shattering hours hours. I can't talk today. In which past and present, fate and destiny converge as a testament by which to live. An unforgettable fable for our time, destined to rank among Dean Koontz's most enduring works. So there you go, book 7. Book number 8, we have Lost Island by Preston and Child. It is a 2014 copyright, and this is what it's about. The synopsis: The Lost Island. Brilliant scientist and master thief Gideon Crew is living on borrowed time when he is tasked by his mysterious employer, Eli Glenn, to steal a page from the priceless book of Kells. Now on display in New York City and protected by an unbreakable security, Gideon gets the parchment only to learn that hidden beneath the illuminated image is a treasure map dating back to the ancient Greeks. As they ponder the strange map, they realize that the treasure it leads is no ordinary fortune. It is something far more precious and amazing discovery that could perhaps even save Gideon's life. Together with his new partner, Amy, Gideon follows a trail of cryptic clues to an unknown island in a remote corner of the Caribbean Sea. There, off the hostile and desolate Mosquito Coast, the pair discover the extraordinary treasure they are hunting conceals an even greater shock. A revelation so profound that it may benefit the entire human race if Gideon and Amy can survive. So there you go. Book number 8. Book number 9, we have Growth, It Will Eat You Alive by Jeff Jacobson. This is a 2014 copyright, and this is what it's about. This time, the enemy is inside you. Corn is America's grain and very stuff of life. Now, scientists have created a genetically modified strand that repels all pests. It also contains the DNA of a rare species of fungus that is invasive, violently infectious, and very deadly. First, the fungus eats through your skin, then grows to appear on your body, sprouting like hideously malignant mushrooms. Finally, the skin cracks and splits and releasing countless spores into the air. First, you die, but the worst is still to come. The fungus uses your body to kill in a desperate attempt to check the invasion. Acres of cornfields have been burned down, but the epidemic has a relentless life of its own, and it will not be stopped. In the small town of Parker's Mill, Illinois, a container of corn seeds has been planted, and a new strain of nightmare has been unleashed. This year's crop won't taste like any other. This year's crop will eat you alive, and Parker's Mill is a ground zero for an epidemic that could destroy the world. So there you go. Book number 9. Book number 10, and the last in this lot, is The Cradle Will Fall by Mary Higgins Clark. It's got marking there. Definitely loved, well read, and turn pages. 1980 copyright. And this is what the book is about. And it's a little bent. A minor road accident landed county prosecutor Katie DeMayo in Westlake Hospital. That night from her window, she thought she saw a man load a woman's body into the trunk of a car. Or was it just a nightmare induced by a sleeping pill? At work the next day, Katie begins investigating a suicide that looks more like a murder. Initial evidence points elsewhere, but medical examiner Richard Carroll saw a trail leading to Dr. Edgar Halley. He suspects that a famous doctor's work curing infertile women is more than controversial, that it is deceitful, depraved, and often deadly. But before Richard can tell Katie his fears, she leaves the office for the weekend and an appointment for routine surgery in Dr. Halley's operating room. So there you go, book number 10. And with that, whatever time zone you're in, I want to thank you so much for tuning into my channel and watching and commenting. So with that, you have a great and blessed day. Bye.